All right, we're doing the same thing here. This is Dan Brown. We wanted to make sure that we're on the right category. And now here, where I was talking about before, we actually have audiobooks and antiquarian. We will likely need to flip through all of those just to make sure we're getting the right and the best numbers possible. So first to the books, to the regular book category, just, probably where most of his stuff is, to be fair. That is not the greatest sell-through in the world, but I'm not shocked. But let's go over to active. Jeez, 12,775. So that's a lot. That's not a lot, but that's a lot. It's a lot. Thank you for the pickup on the Yimu. That's a rough story, that one. All right, so now we've moved over antiquarian and collectible, and we're over in active. So there's not that many more over here, so we'll just call it probably an even 18,000. Is that accurate? It was 1775 on the last one, wasn't it? Yeah, and there's 1,400 here. So it's added 2,000 to whatever we find under books. And then we'll look under books real quick. Yeah, let's do like 14,775. That's a lot. That's a lot of listings. That's a fair amount of listings. Like comparatively, Goosebumps is more. Tom Clancy, James Michener. He's got as many as James Michener or Michener. And he's that huge travel author. George R.R. Martin, Game of Thrones guy, has just under 20,000. So to kind of give you an idea, J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter, right? 48,000. So about 25% as popular as J.K. at whenever I got that data. Some of this data is getting pretty long in the tooth. Probably needs to be updated. But so let's look up his sell-through rate. Like, I don't remember it being that good. 9.97. That's not like terrible, but it's not like his books do sell pretty well. It's kind of weird. Like, I can get to a point where I can have like 5 copies of Da Vinci Code, but then I can go through like a period where I don't have any Dan Brown, because sometimes somebody will come in and just like buy everything that he's written. You know what I'm saying? So it's about roughly 7% on the antiquarian collectible as well. So let's average the two. So let's call it 8.5. Totally understand that that's not perfect math, but we're just trying to get close. So not great. Let's sort this one Z to A and see where 8% falls in. So he's up there, a little more popular than Michener, a little more popular than Tom Clancy, John le Carre, Grisham, some kind of, the old heads at this point. So, but almost as popular as like Game of Thrones. What Harry Potter has become. Dean Koontz is at 11. So, hell, Hemingway's at 15. I wonder how many like the younger generations know about Hemingway. You know what I mean? We got some. You need to get on some Tyler Jones, more specifically Midas by Tyler Jones. Is that a book? I can put that in here. Tyler Jones. Check out Midas. Okay. I've never seen this part of eBay. Search Midas. We check it out. Search Philip Fracassi. Okay, we can look that up. Morning Fox. All right, yeah, we can look those up. Let's finish up this one, and then we'll do Tyler Jones and Philip, and then we'll probably go after that. All right. So Dan Brown, we're in its sold tab. Let's see. So you guys know his titles. Origin is like Robert Langdon 4, 3, I can't remember. Angels and Demons, Lost Symbol, Da Vinci Code, obviously. I just sold one of these special editions here. Deception Point is something different. And then he's got another one called Digital Fortress that's also different. Here's the book that's being released this month. So let's look and see what his just bangers are. So that's expensive. This is expensive. I don't know why that's expensive, but it is. We won't even look at that one. So with this one, it doesn't really seem like he has like any like he's not going to have like weird editions and stuff from like Fairy Loot or any of those kinds of things. This I think is expensive because of not necessarily the book itself, just because of the provenance or like all the stuff with it. These photos ever load. Love your show and store. Always interested in more vintage aviation. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I'm good at finding that. I just need to find a collection of a plane guy, but for some reason those photos won't load super well. But here's the this is the reason why it's so expensive. Handwritten note by Dan Brown, and then a signed note and a signed book. That's why this one went for 350 bones. And I tell you what, if you're a book scanner, if you know, more power to you. You definitely get yours, but do sometimes take a moment and flip open these covers. I can't tell you how many signed books I find left behind by scanners. And sometimes it's pretty wild because as they get going, beep beep beep, doing their thing, they won't even necessarily look at the front of the book. And I will literally find books that I have like a sticker that says signed. And had they just looked at the front of the book, they don't even have to open the book. Just the front of the, has it, and they just leave it behind. So I'm like, okay, I guess that's coming home with Steve then. So, hey, buddy. Hey, kitty. You want to hang out? You can hang out. So this one's expensive, but I'm not 100% sure why, even though I don't recognize that cover of Angels and Demons. Look at that cover. I've never seen that cover. Maybe that's why that one was expensive. Here it is again. Is this what the first... I've never seen this cover, I don't think. Oh, and that's signed. That's why I guess Dan Bryan doesn't sign a lot of stuff. And that's the other thing, too. Some authors, they sign a shit ton of stuff. And it's just like everything else, it's supply and demand, right? The more signatures you have, the less they're worth. So if Dan Brown doesn't sign all that much, that's, Kitty, I love you, but you are just right in the way, aren't you? But you are cute, so I guess I give you a pass. That's okay. We'll forgive you. Yeah, you know what? It could be a UK edition. That's a good point. It is a good point. Let's see if we can't see if there's any giveaway here. Pocketbooks. Yeah, I don't know. So let's move on to Tyler Jones. Not a whole lot going on with Dan Brown. So basically, they're all about the same unless you have one signed. And then it's more. Now, who are we looking at? Tyler Jones. All right, let's go over to the book category. We do have some of the antiquarian collectibles, so we will check that out. Now, I know nothing about Tyler Jones, I don't think. I don't recognize the name off the top of my head. And this might be why. 293 total active listings, which tells me, either he's a new, or like a really, really brand new author, and a lot of his stuff just hasn't filtered down to the secondhand market. Or he's so crazy popular that that none of his stuff is hitting the secondhand market because they can't print it fast enough. I don't yet have enough data to tell me either way. So let's look over at Antiquarian Collectible. So only 6 listings over here. And I'm not sure if this is the same Tyler Jones. Salt sign, lettered art, Rapture. Is this? We'll look at that. This is not the same thing, is it? Or is this the same thing? I got a World War II Wildcats over Casablanca book signed by Lee Spit. Oh, that's rad. So, all right, cool. This is the same person? This is the same person. Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about this guy. Carved in salt. It looks cool. Lettered art, Rapture Publishing. Is it Christian? I understand, like, Rapture isn't necessarily a Christian word, but it's usually sometimes. Let's just say. This special edition chapbook is limited to 150 numbered copies, all by the author and artist. Okay, all right, well, let's keep digging. These went for $200. Or at least they're listed for $200. It's pretty pricey. So let's go back over to regular book category. Let's go over to sold tab. Now he has a pretty low sell-through rate. Thank you for the pickup there, Sky Blue. Kitty, no, this is why you struggle when you're here. You got to keep your head off the keyboard. 6% there. Okay, this is the Midas that you were talking about. We'll check that out. It's expensive as hell. Oh my goodness. So that's the same book there. This is a different one entirely. Bob Jones Earth Science. Is that the same guy? Cocaine and Rhinestones. That sounds fun. This might be something different too. And that's the other thing you have to sometimes be careful about is that the numbers can be skewed. Like, and I'm not sure, I'm going to check, but if this Cocaine and Rhinestones is not by Tyler Jones, like it skews some of these numbers up here. You know what I'm saying? And with such a small sample size, that might be extremely relevant. Ooh, Night of the Long Knives. I feel like we're about to do that in the United States. Oh, that's cool. Is that a horn? Was that horn like there, or is that something coming through the back of his head, on the front of his head? Scary. What's this say? Who is this guy? Lights will go out all over the world. Is this like a vampire demon-y thing? I like it. So Night of the Long Knives is also a reference, and you'll have to forgive me my World War II history and exactly how it went down, but it's a reference to something that I think good old mustachio autocrat guy from Germany in the 30s, one of the ways that he came to power is they had a Night of the Long Knives where I think they either killed their opposition and then blamed it on the somebody else to like a false flag kind of thing. But actually, let me look that up real quick. I want to make sure I say that right. In a paragraph, tell me what Germany's Night of the Long Knives was. Something vaguely like that. It's a sad thing. It's a Night of the Long Knives was a purge carried out in Nazi Germany from June 30th to July 2nd, my birthday, 1934, in which Mr. Adolf ordered the execution of the leadership of the I can't say that word. The paramilitary wing of the Nazi Party, along with other political opponents. The SA, led by Ernst Röhm, had become a potential threat to Hitler's consolidation of power because of its growing influence and Röhm's desire for a second revolution that threatened army and conservative elites. Over the course of the purge, dozens were killed, including leaders and other leaders, as well as politicians who opposed Hitler, with the exact number of victims unknown. But basically, like Hitler just cleaned house in like one night and just said he essentially pulled the trigger on the whole thing. This event solidified Hitler's control, gained the support of the German military, and demonstrated the regime's willingness to use extrajudicial violence to eliminate opposition. So, having read that terrible, sad thing, that's a reference to that. And I don't know what this book is about, but that's what Night of the Long Knives is. Vincent Chong is the artist. No, it's by... Okay, the other one is too. Cool. Yeah, we got to find out what this Night of the Long Knives is about. The actual book. Night of the Long Knives by... Was it Taylor Perry? I keep forgetting who we're looking up. Tyler Jones. Tyler Perry's an actor. Night of the Long Knives by Tyler Jones. Short paragraph about it without ruining it. Don't tell me the end. All right. So you said this one is also by Tyler Jones. No, that's Earth Science. That's something completely different. So there's Midas. We'll look at that. And these are sold prices. Like this book went for $325. This one went for $80. So, Kitty, you are killing me here. And then you said this one was actually, we'll look at that one too. Night of the Long Knives by Taylor Jones is a genre-blending novel that intertwines elements of horror, true crime, and supernatural thriller. The story follows Andy Ferris, a man grappling with profound grief after the tragic loss of his wife and daughter. To cope, he embarks on a journey documenting unsolved crimes across the country, uncovering a disturbing pattern that hints at a deeper, more sinister force at play. His quest leads him to a wealthy collector obsessed with the mysterious relic, propelling Andy into a dark conspiracy that threatens to unravel his sanity. Existential problems. Anyway, the novel is noted for its compelling exploration of pain, loss, and the human psyche, drawing comparison to shows like The X-Files and Kolchak the Night Stalker. That sounds super fun, man. Night of the Long Knives. And here's the art. And apparently the artist's name was, you said... Oh, it's not by him. Okay, gotcha. Okay. So that was cool, and then here's Midas. We'll look at that one next. And then you said this one is not by him. No, it's not. Tamara Wynette. She was a country singer, wasn't she? Or something like that, or something in the, like, religious evangelism or something. I don't know. All right, we're gonna look up Midas Touch. What's this about? Let me see. So Midas is from Greek mythology. He was the dude that could touch things and turn it to gold, and ended up like touching his own kid, and like anyway. That's pretty. 500 numbered and 15 lettered copies of Midas signed. Here's your artist, probably. Here's your artwork. That looks cool. So this is the reason why it's a limited print. Let's find out what it's about. What is Midas by Tyler Jones? Same treatment. Let's find that out. Cool. Yeah, I appreciate you introducing me to a new author. Horror, crime, awesome, low print author. So that's what we'll put in there. Tyler Jones is what we're looking at. Vincent Chong, he did some Stephen King special illustration. It kind of gave me that vibe. We had a Plume Stephen King. It kind of looks like that. And then we had a Wizards in Glass just this past Friday. So yeah, no, I dig it. So Midas by Tyler Jones is a dark, atmospheric novel that delves into themes of grief, obsession, and the supernatural. The story follows former preacher Jeremiah Pevensey, who, after the tragic death of his young son, loses his faith. His life takes a harrowing turn when he discovers a dead body in the woods near his home and a mysterious map leading to a location that does not exist. This discovery sets him and his wife on a perilous journey to uncover the secret of power that can transform anything into pure gold. Their quest brings them into conflict with a violent cult leader, my favorite kind, propelling them into a confrontation with forces beyond their understanding. The novel is noted for its compelling exploration of pain, loss, and the human psyche. Again. And then compared by the same folks. Cool. That's a neat thing. Y'all be on the lookout for these. Does he have like normal copies that aren't $1 bajillion? Because it's pretty unlikely I'm going to find those, right? Yeah, no, apparently they're all crazy expensive. Oh, wait, what's this? Oh, is this worth picking up? Did we find one for $5? That's not the same cover as the other one, is it? No. Okay, see, here's a good example. Here's the one cover, right? The $1 bajillion one. And then here's probably a more normal, like, regular trade edition. But look, he didn't write the author name. Like, that might be worth. Go get it, guys. Located in Olympia. Let me know if somebody picks that up. The guy had 9 feedback. Let me see. I'm not gonna pick it up. My TBR is too long. What else has he got in here? Murderbot Diaries. That sounds fun. Wasn't there like a movie similar to that? Anyway. Yeah. All right, let me close all these and then we'll do the other one. Close that one. Oh, I closed the wrong gosh darn one. I hit too clicky. All right. Midas just came. Oh, it came on paperback. Cool. You can get it from Leith Press and Amazon. Hopefully on Amazon it's like $5-10. All right, Tyler Jones, and then we're gonna do Philip. I'm just gonna copy paste that, and hopefully I spelled it right the first time. Research. Let's go to the book category. And this name doesn't ring an immediate bell either. So hopefully I get to learn 2 things today. I like learning. I hate not knowing, but I love finding out. Let's go right to active to get the amount of listings. Come on, internets. So another low print person. He doesn't have a lot on the secondhand market. Patreon stories, The Firm, Chatbook Altar. I've never heard of this. Observe Pub, The Third Rule of Time Travel. That sounds familiar. So we'll check all that out. 228 listings in the regular category. Let's look over at Antiquarian. I like this song. So not very many over here. Zagava, Don't Let Them Get You Down, signed and numbered. We'll pull a couple of these up. So about 200, just under 300 listings altogether. So, we'll just call it the same as Tyler. Oh, that's cool looking. What's that about? Like Elephant Man vibe going on. Zagava is the name of this one. Anyway, let's go back over here for a second. So we're going to look at sold here. Wow, $450 on that one. $385 on that one. $250 on this one. $200 on that one. $175. And then $100. And then another one I don't God, this guy wrote. They're like all expensive. All right, let's check these out. This one here sold for 470 bones. Cover's badass. I would love that desk. Okay. You have my attention, sir. Low print, signed and numbered. Here's your slipcase and I guess your dust jacket. Part 1, the pitch. So I'm getting like horror demon stuff. It's kind of looking like The Egotist. Very fucking cool cover. I love these covers. I like the simplicity and the minimalism of it. What is going on here? Slipcase, nice slipcase. Zagava. These are all low print and pretty. Who's the publisher? Oh, I guess Zagava is the publisher. Okay. Okay, so he got this at like a release event, probably. Very cool. All right, well, look at that one. I don't know anything about these books. They look cool as shit, though. I'm totally digging the art style and the vibe. We'll get a little rundown on it. Shiloh has been limited to 100 hand-numbered copies for sale. No One is Safe is another one. Philip. This one sold for $225. Save the kitty! Save the kitty! No One is Safe presents 14 stories of macabre, pulpy terror, a book filled with futuristic noir mysteries, science fiction thrillers, alien invasions, and old-school horror tales that will keep you up late into the night. Inside these covers, you'll discover haunted dream journals, evil houses, birthday wishes gone wrong, a neighborhood cat that cures any disease. Save the kitty! Save the kitty, save the world. A flesh-eating beach and mysterious skeletons on a hidden moon base. You'll meet wisecracking detectives, suburban vampires, murdered movie stars, and monsters of the deep. And remember, don't get too attached to the characters you meet on these pages because there's no holding back in this book. Anything can happen. No one is safe. It's like Scream killing Drew Barrymore in the first scene. And you're like, I have no idea what happens next. They just killed the star. So that sounds really fun. Let's look up Altar real quick. Boys in the Valley is his most popular book. Okay, we'll check that out. Hopefully we come across it. Ooh, this song's a little slow. Let me move this on. That's Chopin, a little early for Nocturne number 20, I think. I don't know about y'all. So not giving us too much on that. It looks cool. Empty pool, or I don't know if it's empty. It's creepy. I really like that shot. This is a really nice, well done shot. Like if I'm a photographer, I used to be a photographer. I guess I still am. Like this follows a really nice horizon rule, which, you know, the line's completely straight, 1/3 of the thing, and then it's got a leading line and then a natural frame. It's a really nice piece of art, in my opinion. Don't know what the book's about though. $175 for that one. The Boy with the Blue Rose, is that it? No, Boys in the Valley. Okay. Let's look at this one. Man, the art is good. Is he also the artist by Luke Spooner. The Boy with the Blue Heart. Hybrid Sequence Media from California. What's it say in the back here? Philip Fracassi has performed a truly special sort of magic. He has written a story that is indeed for young readers, but which also manages to be for everyone. The Boy with the Blue Rose Heart is a fairy tale and a dream, and a story full of truths about what it means to be kind in a world that may not ask for kindness, but very, very badly needs it. Kind of like the world we're in now. A beautiful book. Children and adults alike will return to time and again for both the gentle, surreal story and for Luke Spooner's gorgeous illustrations. It belongs on the shelf next to your favorite bedtime stories. Delicate and haunted with warmth and wonder. That sounds cute and fun. All right, this one here is Gothic. This one here went for... Oh, and this is all from the same bookstore, too. Alias. So here's the cover. Again, I love the minimalist covers. On his 59th birthday, Tyson Parks, a famous but struggling horror writer, receives an antique desk from his girlfriend in the hopes it will rekindle his creative juices, perhaps inspire him to write another best-selling novel and prove his best years are behind him. Don't get creepy desks if you're a horror writer. That's the start of a horror book, apparently. Anyway, The Fates of Nero also looks super cool. So basically, I guess long story short, if you ever see a Philip Fracassi book, you pick it up because it's going to be horror, which everybody wants horror. You'll never. I have a hard time keeping horror in stock. So relatively recent. He's still writing. 2022, doing shows. Not since The Shining has the descent of a writer into madness been so masterfully rendered into the page. High praise. High praise. High praise. So super fun there. What have we got here? It's another... Oh, okay, we looked at that. Let's go back over to the front here. And you said his most popular one was Boys in the Valley. I haven't seen that one yet. Let's also come over here. Give us a quick breakdown of the career of Philip Fracassi. And I may not be spelling that right, but hopefully it'll get what I mean. So I think we were in Antiquarian Collectible here. Let's go over to books and then hit apply, and we're going to look at his normal stuff. And he's got that's a pretty good sell-through rate. That's better than Stephen King's. So let's write that down first and foremost. So yeah, we'll round that up to 25% because his artwork looks so good. Let's sort, kind of see where he falls. So Philip is right below Rebecca Yarros, above Robert Jordan, above Holly Jackson, above Stephen King, above Clive Barker. You know, only Yarros, Sanderson, Peckham. You know, some of the really, really popular folks. The Blue Butterfly, we didn't see that one. We didn't see Earth. Man, he's written quite a bit. Patreon stories, we can look at that. Commodore. A Child Alone with Strangers, Never a Fun Time. No One is Safe. You tell me that this bluest thingy is the most popular one, but I don't see it. I think you're lying. No, I'm kidding. Let's go to Total Sold. See if we can't find one that's got a bunch. The Third Rule of Time Travel. This guy has written a lot. Boys in the Valley. Here we go. All right, we found one. All right, let's go through these right quick. Gothic we already saw. Patreon stories. This edition is a limited 200 number for Altar Survivors. What's that? Oh, Patreon, like Patreon on YouTube. So basically what this is, I think, is it's literally a Patreon edition. So a lot of time creators will set something up, and it's a smart thing to set up a Patreon. Basically, it's a way for your supporters to support you financially, while you also you can give them extra content and kind of give them extras for that support. A lot of YouTubers do it and stuff, and it's smart because you want to diversify. Because what if all of a sudden another YouTube ad apocalypse or something happens, and through no fault of your own, you lose 20-30% of your income. You know what I'm saying? So it's good. I'm glad folks do this. And I mean, you wouldn't even know this edition existed unless you either found one on the secondhand market or in the Patreon group. So those got to be really totally low print. It's Boys in the Valley. Okay. What do I keep saying it wrong? Boys of the Valley. I probably keep saying it wrong. So this kind of is giving me Christine vibes. So pretty cover. Is that him there? He looks like a serious dude. Yeah. Awesome. I appreciate you introducing me to this. I had no idea this dude existed. So another author to add to my TBR. I do like the horror, and I do like the kind of existentially pain, grief. Those. Ooh, this is cool. Look at that. And then out of the slipcase. That's cool. Let me see what it looks like out of the slipcase. There's no more photos. Oh, I'm bummed. Here's Boys in the Valley. So don't piss off the Boys in the Valley. I'll have to check that out. All right, let's... Blue Butterfly. For Kyle. Man, I really hope this gets published someday. It did, buddy. It did. You're doing fine. You're doing great. All right, Gothic we already looked at. Oh, I think this is the other ones. Cool. That was fun. Now I got a new guy to be on the lookout for. All right, let's see if any pre-bids. I appreciate the last sale that came in. I didn't see what it was. We got Crisis, the Charter Pilot. Oh, yeah, we were just talking about that Sky Blue. Thank you. And then, of course, the little Carolyn from earlier. Guys, I think that's going to wrap me up for today. We went through book news. Just to kind of recap, Diary of Wimpy Kid number 20 is coming out in September. Tons of all the book stuff. The book clubs have picked their new books for the month. Dan Brown, The Secret of Secrets, is another big one. This is book 6 in the Robert Langdon Da Vinci Code kind of series. Then we have Tell Me Something Good is the Target pick. She's got a new book coming out. I think this is Ollie Harris. And then this was lawsuit stuff. We won't go over that. This stuff's kind of bummer. And then that whole situation is very off-putting. Stephen King's getting beat up on Twitter is what we talked about there. This was Diamond Comics and kind of what's going on with the distributors. And there's a lot of shakeups going on in the distributing world right now. I can't imagine what tariffs and stuff are doing. Cultivated Lines. I appreciate that. I used to do this every single Monday, and then just schedules got out, and then just got out of the groove. We're gonna try to do this at least every Monday, kind of a second chance for the stuff that the shows on the weekend. Because now when I'm gonna do all the stuff that's still in the show, it's gonna get moved over to the booth. I could drop off all my shipping. It's kind of a nice way to start the week, kind of hitting reset, getting the brain going, and just getting the shows ready for this week. We do. If this is your first time meeting me, not necessarily you, but we do. This is our big show on Saturday. I appreciate the tip, Beans. Thank you. We do this big show on Saturday. We usually have 350, 400 lots. Usually midweek, we do some sort of kind of other show. This week is going to be cookbooks. Next week is going to be children's books. And then last week, it was 2 for 3 paperbacks. So we're going to do 4 for 5 mass market paperbacks or something like that here pretty soon too. So, but yeah, that's what's going on. I appreciate you guys spending some of your Monday with me. We're going to put this VOD up on YouTube. I am trying to get a YouTube channel going. I've got a lot of balls in the air, and we'll see how many actually keep getting juggled. My eyes always look big. bigger than my mouth. Is that what it is when you get more food than you can eat? I can't remember. But let's find out who we can raid, and then we'll get on to our day. To the post office. So everything that was bought on Saturday is going to be dropped off this morning. So hopefully pretty quick for you guys. Let's see who's up. Let's go to the book nerd. She does a really good job, and she's always super nice and fun. Let's get over there. Book nerd. I used to raid her almost every morning, and then I kind of got out of the groove. So we're going to get back. Oh, did she just go offline? No, wrong person. Okay, the book nerd. I just wrote book nerd. So, guys, I'll see you next week. If you guys have authors you want to look up and get to the list, just send me a message or let me know in the show. We can definitely add your author to the list. The more folks that you guys introduce me to, your favorite authors, the better I am going to be able to find those things for you. So don't hesitate to tell me stuff. I love knowing stuff. So let's get you over there, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday night.